First video 2024, and we're going to talk about last year. Let's get going. Welcome back to the McGolf Shop. Jim McCleary here, and this is McGolf channel where we talk about golf club repairs, golf club reviews, golf club fittings, all so your scores can go low, and where customers become friends. All right, let's talk about 2023. We're going to split this up into a couple of regions, right? Number one is the equipment. On the scene came Callaway. Callaway showed up with the Paradigm. Paradigm being switching your paradigm to something else other than what you're used to. And they introduced the 360 forged carbon shell. And that was for their driver. Turned out it worked pretty good, right? Had an AI face, had the jailbreak, several different shaft options to choose from, 3 different options, the max, the regular one, and the triple diamond. All had their place in the world, right? And it turned out to be pretty much the #1 driver. Cool. Now, they also followed it up with fairway woods, hybrids. Fairway woods are pretty hot. Hybrids were, I would give them slightly above average. And the irons were distance getters, okay, distance getters. However, they came at a price, and price became an issue towards 2023. Are they a great club? Yeah, they're a forged club. Very, very nice. Had a really sleek look to them, but price became an issue, at least here at McGolf. Now, let me reevaluate this or tell you what's going on. This is a review of 2023 from McGolf Shop. All right, Jim McCleary and McGolf. That's what we're seeing. So, wedges took off like a shot. The full toes, the Jaws 5, Jaws Raw 5, I mean the whole 9 yards. They all took off. They're very, very good. The grinds were stupendous. Did exactly what they were supposed to do. Now, to follow that up, the Odyssey putter. The Odyssey putter is the #1 putter on tour, right? #1 putter on tour, and they're following it up this year with some AI stuff. I can say that because they released it at the end of 2023. Seems to be having a very, very good following. All right, another one is Wilson. Wilson came out and kind of surprised a lot of people. They released Dynapower. And they released something that they've not released in forever, an adjustable driver. And they had 2 drivers. They had the TI and they had the carbon. The TI was the more forgiving of the 2, which kind of went against, the industry norm where they put a TI crown back on the top and said it was more forgiving. You would think it would be the other way around. The carbon, however, was the one that had the fade bias in it and was for the better player. If you go on the YouTube reviews, a lot of people really liked it. They really liked it. I think what happened is that the name scared them off. But it was a good club. It worked for me. It worked for a lot of people here at McGolf. Very nice driver. Of course, they followed it up with a fairway wood, a hybrid, and a set of irons. Now, the fairway wood I didn't see too much of. The hybrid I thought worked very, very well. Bang for buck, it was probably the best hybrid out there. Bang for buck. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, the iron was a distance model, very super duper forgiving, which was kind of outside the whole realm of all the other Dynapower stuff. Yeah, they say they wanted it to be forgiving, but I think what really they missed the mark on the iron in that if they would have had another iron, which they do, and it's a D9 forged, but if that would have been more in line with that level of a release, they would have probably all made sense. All right, but new things are coming. We'll say that new things are coming. Overall, I think that they had a pretty good year. At least we did right here with them. Next one is Mizuno. Mizuno released the hot metal line. Hot metal line, they started using chromoly more in their forging techniques, which is, they're known for their forging, and to get chromoly. We say chromoly, I think it gives off a different term for people, but it is just another form of steel, okay? And they did it, and they released a high launch hot metal, the regular hot metal pro. They got the forged and a tour. Now, the tour and the forged are kind of in a different class all their own. However, probably the best iron in our collection from sales this last year was the Hot Metal Pro. It's their distance iron, or their player, what I would call their player's distance iron category, okay? But they all performed very, very well. I'm excited to see what's going to be coming from the Mizuno Pro line for the upcoming 2024 year. They also launched their last end of what they would call the rapid release engineering model, where they were releasing a driver every year. And what they were doing is they were taking all the defects out and putting all the positives in and creating the next model. Well, here we are, STX, STZ, two really good spin-killing drivers. So last year, or it is now last year, was the wave of the driver. There was plenty to choose from all the companies. Everybody released something. And Mizuno was no different, and pretty much a top-notch competitor. Pretty much Wilson, Mizuno, and Callaway all did very well in the shop. Now their wedges, they released earlier in 2023, they call it the T24 for the year 24. Looks to be a pretty nice update. It's just a little cleaner. There's no, super whammy-dine change in the technology. It's a wedge. But the way that they've come out with a white satin, I think that's a better look, to be sure. And their different grinds are going to be very, very nice. All right, so the next one, Srixon. Srixon surprised a lot of people in the category of irons. The Mark II model really took off in a lot of people's eye. Best feeling, performed very well, that kind of stuff. And in particularly the ZX4. The ZX4 got such a facelift. I don't know how in the super game improvement category that this didn't win. The the model before it was ugly, it looked bad. But this year, or last year, which is going into this year, the ZX4 looks outstanding, okay? The ZX5 is right in the middle of the road, a little bit stronger, a little bit wider, where the 7 is narrower, just a degree weaker, and gets in there. So for you guys that are like, well, I like a thin sole, well, just get it bent strong. There you go, right? Very, very, very nice. Now, surprisingly to me was the Cleveland wedge. Now, Cleveland and Srixon are together, and I really tried to stay away from that, but the more I kept using it, the more it kept working. So the Cleveland RTX6 wedge in that category really started working well. So that was a surprise and a plus for us, okay? Last two items as far as equipment goes, and we'll move on, is putters, right? I discovered Makefield putters last year, 2 years ago, brought them on, and it's been just a wonderful thing. The fitting system that they have, not the one that you can go out and get nowadays, but the one that I use, it works pretty good, right? It works pretty good. The original, I still like the original, but for those guys that don't like a lot of, edges, they have what I call half moons. They call them tour shapes. Do work very, very well, and we went through quite a bit of them. Adding in the BGT shaft, which is another find for McGolf, makes this thing a weapon. All right, the Makefield and BGT becomes a weapon. The other hand of it is I got selected by My Golf Spy to look up Lab Golf. Lab Golf is a putter company, as you well know, and saw a massive surge in popularity because it worked. I did a review, had the Mez Max, I put a low torque shaft in it, and it's still in my bag as of today. So we expect good things from Lab Golf going forward. Oh, all right, in McGolf land. All right, anything that happened in here personally? Well, all right, so number one, as the season goes on, I celebrate my 60th birthday. That was last year. Hoorah for me. And the golf industry is as strong as ever. I see a lot of good coming out of what we're doing. We're seeing that fittings are taking our center stage in a lot of cases in order for people to golf better. Hopefully we don't go in a direction that it all becomes online or letting some self thing perform deal. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because What you need is an objective eye in order to be fit properly, okay? You need an objective eye. Now, because what I think is one thing, like whether your swing is aggressive or not, and you do, could be totally opposite. And then because I know the gear that's sitting behind me and a lot, right, that I know how that would fit for you, as opposed to the stuff that you read on the internet and you think some guy is out there going, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing for everybody. No, it doesn't work that way. So if you would, take this to heart is, you want to lower some scores, you want to have fun, right, doing a lot of, playing golf, even if you're not a 3-day-a-week guy, you're once a weekend or once whenever the buddies call you or whenever the company wants to golf. Just a real quick fitting just so that it gets you into the ballpark at least, and you can have at least a little bit of fun with it. And that's really what we're here for, because not a lot of people are making money at this, right? Let's have some fun with it. All right. All right, something I forgot to add about the personal aspect of the McGolf. We made a lot of friends this year, meaning that we had a lot of customers that became friends, and we had them from each side of the coast come in. We had one from Delaware, and we happened to meet that person while we were on a golf trip, golfing with Peter, who's also another friend that we met while we were in Myrtle Beach, and met him golfing at one of the resort courses, and he came in for a fitting with his wife, a grand pair to be sure. And on the West Coast, his son was being frocked as a chief, which is no small accomplishment. And he and his wife came in, he came in for the fitting, and that was interesting as well. And Helen, Robin is still using the purse, so thank you so very much. So we made a lot of that. Also, we did a lot of shipping to each side of the coast. We sent something to Washington State, and we sent something as far as Georgia. And we sent it to Ed in Georgia, who has a teaching academy going on, and he is dealing with some upper end folks that are very low handicappers and doing a very good job, and we've been able to help him as well. So I just wanted to throw that in there, where we're taking and we're making, friends out of customers, and the fact that we are really stretching it out there. And had my very first shipment to Nebraska too, which is where I was born, so there's a plus as well. All right, let's keep going. A little bit further in the year, we get selected by Golf Digest to be America's Best Club Fitter. This is our 7th time, and it's the 7th time in a row. They've only done it 7 times. 7, 7, 7. They've done it 7 times in a row. We've been on it every single time. Thank you, Golf Digest. It's truly an honor to be, because there's a lot of good people out there, right? And particularly here in rural Ohio, to be selected, that you would think that the lion's share of those places would be, big box story type things. We're in big cities, that kind of stuff. And here we are holding our own. And I think that's great. I really, really like that idea, that we can bring to you all the stuff, without a bias. We like to say we're, there is no gender here. It's about how you swing the golf club and how you hit the ball. Okay. Also, we started going along, and we gained another 5,000 subscribers. We're up to 35. I'd like to see that jump a little bit more, but that's just me being greedy. And at the end of the year, we celebrated our 40th anniversary. Thank you, Mrs. McGolf, for staying around for this whole time. She has been a lot of the backbone for this, and I don't think I certainly wouldn't have been here without her. If you go to the live stream, she interacts with a lot of the people, in fact, all of the people. When we do the live stream, she sits just off camera, and she's typing away and answering the people. So it's been a pretty good run, right? It's been a very, very good run. Lastly, that we shut down our range. It just was getting to a point where it was price prohibitive to have the range, and we decided it was time for it to go and concentrate on some other stuff. So the range is officially closed as of April of this year, or last year, and so far so good. We like what we've done. All right, so the last bit of all this is out in the golf world, and I don't want to hit on this too long, but the biggest story of the day is all about Live Golf, right? And the contrast between them and the PGA. I'm not going to get into if I like it or don't, because everybody's going to have their own opinion on it. Let's just say I hope they get this thing worked out, and let's concentrate on golf instead of the damn clashing that's been going on. It's ridiculous, the things that are being done, and I think we're losing sight of the focus of golf and all that golf does, and the good that golf brings to the community. Okay. Now, little blurbs for going forward. In 2024, we're going to end up actually doing a few more reviews than we did last year. We kind of slipped off the map on that one. We're going to pick that back up after a review of 2023. The reviews are coming out. In fact, you'll see one here pretty much right after this one, after this video. So again, all you guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for being part of the McGolf community. And let's see that 2024 is as good, if not better, than 2023. And as always, let's see your scores go low.